Hi, it's Sherry, and welcome to The Eyes Have It. Today is Q&A day, or rather, Answers Day. You want to come say hi, boo-boos? She is so fluffy. I've never seen my dog this fluffy before, but she goes to get groomed on Wednesday. And you're so nosy. I had to get... Look, stop it. I had to get her to come sit here because she was being so bad. I heard everything rustling and falling over in the living room. So bad. Okay. Q&A day, answers day, rather. I got at least one question on Facebook, the Eyes Have It page. I got one question on Instagram. So I'm going to do those first, and then I will move over to YouTube where the rest of them are. Okay. So the one I decided what I'm going to do is do, my video and then do a small Jasmine answers video because she's not here this weekend. So the one on Instagram, so any questions about her or about she and I as sisters will go into that video. I got one question on my Facebook, The Eyes Have It Beauty and Skincare page. She says, I have a question for your Q&A. My skin is so dry this winter. Me too. What is your favorite moisturizing day cream, and do you have a hand lotion that works well for super dry hands? She said she works in a bank and that she's constantly touching money so that she's washing and sanitizing her hands constantly, and they are cracking and so dry. But what I told her is that I generally do not use a separate hand cream. I use a body moisturizer called Eucerin in the red cap. Stop snuffling. Stop snuffling. And that's what I use. Before I walk out the door, I just take a little squirt. It comes in a pump, and I just take a little squirt and rub that in my hand. So I know, beautiful, right? I have worn a separate hand cream, and Eucerin even makes a separate hand cream, but I really wasn't all that crazy about it. I was used to, how moisturizing the body lotion is. So, okay, the other question was a day cream, a day moisturizing cream. And I've actually got 3 different price points for you. This is Simple. It's a brand. This brand Simple. Water Boost. Simple Water Boost. Hydrating gel cream with minerals and plant extracts. No artificial perfume or colors. We love that. So it is what I would call between a gel and a lotion. It's very lightweight, but it does call it self-hydrating. Oh, am I not at the end of the bottle when I need to do this? There we go. So, I don't know if you can tell. See, it's starting to slide, which means it's not a lotion. It's a gel lotion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put samples of all 3 of these on my hand. And then this is super cheap. At least in that size tube it is. I want to say, I don't know, maybe $7.99. Maybe not even that much. And then the next one up is still drugstore, and that is Olay Regenerist. And they make a lot of different Olay Regenerist products. But I have used the Micro Sculpting Cream, which is also fragrance-free. Thank you, Olay. And I will show you a sample of that one. Now you can see that is a cream. I hope you can see. So that's more of a cream. This is more of a gel. Now this Olay Regenerist, they've gotten more expensive. I would say this could run you easy $15, perhaps a little more. Come on. Come on. Oh, come on. One more jumps. There you go. Good girl. All right, and then there's one slightly higher end But I mean, I don't think it's ridiculous or anything. I haven't bought it in a while, but I've just gone back to it for the winter. And that is the Drunk Elephant Proteini Polypeptide Cream. And it has 8 peptides in it, as well as pygmy water lily. I don't know what that does. I bought this originally right around the time I had picked this up at CVS. And I thought, interesting, this is super cheap, but this basically is a very similar version. So this one is nice and sanitary because you just pump it out of here. You don't have to. Now this also is more, it looks so much like the Simple hydrating gel. Okay, so there's that one. Now I'm slathering it on. You wouldn't be using it this heavy. So this is the Olay cream. This is the Simple gel, and this is the Drunk Elephant Proteini gel. The Proteini, I think I would say, is more hydrating. Lasts longer on my face. And so now that we're into the winter, I've been wearing that during the day. Okay, so we had one question from Cher B over on Instagram, and I'm going to save that for the Jasmine because the first question was specifically for Jasmine, I think. No, there were 2 questions and they were both for us as sisters. So I'm going to save that for the other video, for Jasmine's video. And then we'll go to YouTube. Okay. All right. Couple of comments. I haven't gotten to a question yet. Oh, okay. The Darling Debs. Hi, Darling Deb, my friend. I have a couple of questions for you. What is your favorite place you have traveled to? That's the first one. I have been fairly boring in my travel in that I have only I've gone to the Caribbean a whole bunch of times, and I've gone to Hawaii 3 times, but I've never been to Europe yet. So of those places, certainly Lake Tahoe is going to be high on that list. Certainly Hawaii as an overall state is going to be on that list. And I am partial, just because it was the first island I ever visited, to Maui, although it's very commercialized now. So I guess Kauai would be one of my favorites, and Lake Tahoe. Is there somewhere you haven't traveled to that you would like to travel to? Excuse me, I'm going to cough. You know, this is really sad because I used to always say, one place I always wanted to visit and I haven't been there yet is Australia. And poor Australia, they have been through it. I just can't even imagine, and I can't wrap my brain around over 1 million animals dead from those fires. And the fact that some of them were arson. They were set fires by people on purpose. People are sick. Shavira 256, which is Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Her question: because you are pretty self-reliant, does it make it difficult to reach out for help from others when you need it? Oh, yes. For most of my life, I have been so independent, and I mean, one particular story I remember that I look back now and I go, what were you thinking? I went out in the beginning, and if you're not old enough to know what microwaves looked like when they first hit the shelves, they were huge, epic, big microwaves, okay? And very heavy, unlike today's. So I go to, I don't know, I think it was Montgomery Ward, something like that, and I buy me a new microwave. So I think they must have put it in the car for me, in the box. And of course the box had this much styrofoam, so the box was almost twice the size of the microwave. And I get home, And I didn't have any guy friends in my development at that time. By the time I left, I did have one. Uh, but I didn't have any guy friends, and I didn't really, my neighborhood was not very friendly, so I didn't really have any friends in the neighborhood. There were people that I would say hi to, and how's the weather, blah, blah, blah. But anyhow, I decided this microwave is coming in my house. And it's coming in my house today. And somehow there were about 6 concrete steps up to my patio, and then over the patio and into the front door, and then all the way to the back of the house was the kitchen. And somehow, by myself, I'm 4'5". I got that thing up those concrete steps. This is like the box, mind you, with all the styrofoam packaging. I got it up the steps, across the patio, into the house, into the dining room, which is right before the kitchen. I think I put it up on a chair and figured, I'm going to have to get all the styrofoam off. So I did, and I got it up on the counter about, I was probably 35, though, when I did that. But yeah, now, 2019 was the first time I've ever hired a handyman to do things I've always done myself. I have 8-foot ceilings, 8 or 9-foot ceilings here, which I never did in DC area. And so, changing the ceiling lights, the battery, smoke detector batteries. Oh my God, that is horrendous. They put them right up at the ceiling, and then you have to open this little door. It's horrible. So I had him do all that, change all my light bulbs, furnace filters, and all that for the first time about 6 months ago. Okay. But I'm getting better about asking. Do you have any Holy Grail products? This includes anything from household to makeup, anything in between. Well, I just did my 2019 favorites, so that'll take care of that question for makeup. The pants I was wearing yesterday are like all-time favorites. Mary Ellen has a pair, and I think somebody else from the YouTube community. I featured them on my channel about 2 years ago, and everybody, a lot of people went and bought them. What are your favorite snacks and dessert indulgences? Oh, and then there's one more for sis that I'm not going to read. I am a chocoholic, so anything chocolate is right up my alley. I'm not much of a pie person, though I will eat them. I love brownies and I love chocolate chip cookies the most, but I can't have them in my house. But I do love dark chocolate, and yeah, and I love brownies, and I will looking for a tissue, only reaching makeup removers. So yeah, I will eat other stuff. I do love a good slice of chocolate cake with chocolate icing if I can find it. All right. Juanita Kerr, what are your favorite places to eat? I take slack for it all the time, but Jasmine and I like to eat at Applebee's. We used to like to eat at TGI Fridays before they closed it, and now they've closed our Ruby Tuesdays. And pretty soon they'll be coming for our Applebee's, so it's a pain in the butt. Now, like today I was out to lunch, hi boo boo, with my neighbors, and we went to a seafoody, not seafoody place. It's like there's huge amounts of seafood places here. Some of them I can find something to eat at because I don't eat seafood, and some I can't. But they made sure that this place had something I could eat, and I had a Thai salad, the chicken Thai, and then the salad, and then the peanut dressing. And it was, it was okay. It was not exactly what I was expecting, but it was okay. And what is your beauty routine morning and night? I think I will do a video on that because I haven't done a skincare routine video in quite a long time, and it's constantly changing and evolving. But in the summertime, it's very, very different because I sweat like a pig from the neck up. And so I have to keep it super, super minimal in the summertime, like sunscreen and maybe one other thing. In the winter, I can put all kinds of stuff on it because my skin is severely dry. And to go out and walk the dog in a 25-mile-an-hour wind, like today, is so bitterly cold. I just couldn't hardly stand being out there with her a little bit ago. So yeah, I'll do a separate video on that. Dan Yop, favorite authors, favorite craft or hobby, and then she has one for Jasmine. Favorite authors, Emily St. John Mandel, who wrote Station 11, probably my favorite book of the past 10 years. I read it twice in a row, which I never do. I love her, and she's got a new book out. And I went on Amazon and I looked at the description, and I was a little like, because it's like ghosts and stuff, and I'm not into that, but I haven't decided yet. Jeffrey Deaver, big time for mystery thriller. Okay, favorite craft or hobby? Video games. I'm terrible with the video games. I'm like playing all day, you know. And now I've got arthritis in these joints right here, and of course in these joints. And so there's just times where I just have to put it down because I just can't do it anymore. I don't play on the phone. I play like Canasta on the phone sometimes at night, but most of the time everything I play on my tablet. So, you know, it's like that by that, so it's not hard to play. But yeah, I used to have lots of hobbies, and I've kind of, you know, given up on most of them because of my gaming addiction. But I like to sew. I used to be, went through this period in my 30s where I was just like making every craft known to mankind, including rug hooking and macrame. Okay, and then there's one for Jasmine. Susie Q, my darling. Do you ever plan on a YouTube meetup? If so, who with and where? You know, I would love to do that, but we are also spread out, and I live in this one of the smallest states in the country, and so there's, you know, not many people here from YouTube. In fact, I've not met any so far or heard of any so far. You know, it would be awesome if we could just like all meet somewhere, all us East Coasters.
Throw in some more laundry and pay the bills.
Sorry, Alexa, cancel. All us East Coasters meet, you know, centrally, and the West Coasters meet centrally. Something like that I would love to do. One of my, you know, one of the people that I really, really want to meet the most is Mary Ellen, of course. Who wouldn't want to meet Mary Ellen, right? And darling Deb's from what is it, Palm Beach, Florida? No, I got that wrong. Can't remember what the town is. Okay, all things Wendy Lee. Great question. The first question: what was the best thing you did to prepare for retirement? And I told her I wasn't even going to have to think about this because I've been retired 12 years in May, but it's still pretty fresh on my mind. So here's the thing: if you are going to retire from job A and then go get another job for income, then this won't really apply to you. But if you're retiring from job A and then you want to do some volunteering or anything really, this may apply to you. So what I did was I knew 8 months out that I was retiring, and I knew the date. So here's what I did. I was moving too. So I had bought a place in here at the beach in Delaware, and I was living in the DC area. And I came down here and I used to use volunteermatch.org up in the DC area, and because it's a big area, you'd get lots of options. Here I kept seeing the same lady's name on like everything. And so finally I called this lady, And I said, your name is on like all these volunteer opportunities. She goes, yeah, that's what I do. That's my job for the state government. So I went out and I met with her well before I retired. And there is apparently this group in every, just like there's a Big Brothers Big Sisters in every county, there is also supposed to be, it used to be called here RSVP, retired and something. It had to do with being over 55 and looking to volunteer. I don't remember, but now it's called Volunteer 50. And there's supposed to be an office of that in every county. And what their whole job is to sit down with you and ask you what is it that you would like to do, what are your areas of interest, etc., and match you up with the right volunteer job. So, oh my lord, I mean, I became best friends with the lady, the coordinator, because we just clicked, and also because I would do a volunteer job for 2 or 3 years and feel like I wanted to move on. So yeah, I had my volunteer job set way before. Well, I mean, 4 months maybe before I retired. Have something that you are going to do. Don't retire. Even if you want to take 30 days and do absolutely nothing, which is what I did, and my mother came to visit. Have something ready to do. Have a plan. Because, if you're anywhere near a type A person, as I was, you're going to go from work to being retired. Oh my God, I'm so bored. I can't stand it. Retirement sucks. And it's because you didn't plan ahead. So plan ahead. That's my biggest advice. Sorry this is getting so long. Then, favorite beauty or skincare product in 2019. Here again, I did my 2019 favorites one video back. So you can see what some of my favorite beauty and skincare products were for the year. I think polyglutamic acid is probably my favorite skincare thing of the year. What is your go-to dish to bring to a potluck or family event? I don't go to family events other than once in a blue moon a family reunion because we're not having them anymore. And I haven't been to a potluck in probably 25 years. Probably that has to do with the difference in our ages. And whether you're a parent or not. I'm not. Okay. Mary Ellen after 60. There she is. What made you choose the area you decided to live in after you retired? And then there's a question for Jasmine. It's a long, complicated story, but I'll try to cut it short, which is I was living in DC area. I had these really close friends who had lived in the DC area, and they all decided they were going to move here to the beach. One came back, one passed away, and a couple were still living here. So I decided when it became obvious that I could no longer live in the DC area because, people were driving with cell phones, driving with their knee. I mean, seriously, ask me sometime. Oh, scary. And going 70 miles an hour while they were doing it. I started to get kind of jumpy about the area and how things were going. And I just said, I got to get out of here. Well, where am I going to go? Well, my friends are in Delaware. Why wouldn't I go there? So I did. And I got a condo literally 2 blocks away from their house. And things just didn't end up going well. And 2 are dead now, and 1 barely speaks to me. And I have no idea why. Mrs. Loretta. What is the favorite thing about retirement? I always joke, my favorite thing about retirement is getting a paycheck for doing absolutely nothing. And that is if you have an annuity, which I do for the federal government. How long have you lived where you do now? And where did you live before? This month, it's 12 years here in Delaware. I lived 37 years in the Washington, D.C. area, mostly in Alexandria, Virginia. And I lived birth to 18 and a half in Ohio, a small town, Ohio. Is that maybe the end? Yeah, that must be the end. Yeah, that must be the end. Okay, maybe that's why I can't go any further. Okay. 28 minutes, 29 minutes. Oh, I'm so sorry. But Q&As do tend to take a while because, you know, you're answering questions and you're kind of explaining things. Anyhow, do I still have lipstick on? Yeah, a little. Okay. Miss Snory Face over there decided to snore right next to me. So I will say take care, be well, and always be yourself. It's the best way to be. Bye. Have a great 2020.